So Activision have responded. They took their time, but nonetheless we've got a reply. And now this is at a point where we have the good news from this and the bad news. And yes, as you can probably tell, if I sound different, it's because I am feeling pretty ill. So apologies to your ears. I'll start with the good, and that is that Activision, yes, they replied, they made a new Twitter account called Call of Duty Updates. This is basically a Twitter account to address issues and patches and any of that technical boogaloo with all of the games. Now, it's great that Activision have done this as a response to all of this stuff, because they have addressed the issue about Black Ops Cold War, because as it stands right now, it is one of the most dangerous games to play at the moment. If you're not caught up on this, I'm gonna link the other videos in the description about this whole situation, and I'll put a few in an iCard here, just in case you've stumbled onto this and you have no idea what's going on. The reply that they tweeted on this account says, "We're aware of recent reports regarding exploits on Black Ops Cold War that impact a small population of players across all platforms. Investigations with partners began last week and are ongoing." About this tweet is a real mixed package for me. I think it's really good that they actually made a Twitter account to be more transparent about all of these issues, but I absolutely hate that they are downplaying the seriousness and the effect of this problem. First off, I think they should have said in this tweet that the game is not safe and that it shouldn't be played right now. And then the other thing is, I hate how they said a small population. This doesn't affect a small population, this affects everybody. That is why loads of YouTubers and loads of people in general are talking about this, making videos about it, and this has become such a widespread issue. It affects every person that plays these games. You and me. Not just the streamers or just the YouTubers or just the max prestige players. It affects everybody. Just because it hasn't affected everybody, that doesn't mean it doesn't. If you or I were to hop on Cold War and then we got hacked, that would be another person that it has affected. You are always at risk when playing those games. So Activision making this seem way less serious than it sounds, not even giving a disclaimer or a warning as to the severity of these issues or how to do everything we can to avoid them, is quite annoying. And what Activision have also done is they've essentially took down the source of these hacks that people can get and use in order to do all of the stuff that they've been doing. Activision pulled this off by sending a cease and desist letter to the person that was supplying these. They sent out a cease and desist to the right people this time, instead of the ones that were trying to help this problem, like the guys that made SM2 and XLabs. This is good, that means more can't be supplied, but then there's a negative side to this because there probably will be many more of these made, and so it's now just this game of whack-a-mole where one comes up, Activision will squash that, and then another one comes up in a different place. And it's great that they've stopped the supply of it, don't get me wrong, but don't be confused with this being a fix. This is not a solution, this is just preventing the problem from happening in the future. The people that still have that software to use the hacks can still hack, which is also difficult when you realize that there have been people that are very knowledgeable about this whole coding space and the tech side of these kinds of games and pretty well educated on it, saying that this is an issue that can never truly be fixed. Like here, Shiversoft Dev has said before that this issue will never be fixed because there are hundreds of ways to remotely crash people that are playing Call of Duty, and goes on to say that Treyarch and Activision have zero incentive to ever begin to try and fix these issues. And although granted the remote control execution on Black Ops 3 is no longer a threat, it's not present now, you're still vulnerable playing the game. Activision would have to use a different engine for Call of Duty, which they're most likely never gonna do. Until that happens and they do a big reset on it all and build Call of Duty again from the ground up, more hacks are probably gonna be made, and the same ones are gonna be used that people already own in order to keep this cycle going. In regards to Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 not being safe, the same thing that's happening to Cold War is happening here, and this tweet comes from Rara Toman. In this tweet they show the software that is used for this kind of thing, but they also mention that in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, and it's also the same with Cold War here, that they can do a thing called blacklisting, which is basically permabanning your account in like 24 hours or less. He's also said in another tweet that Warzone 2, and this is going to extend to Modern Warfare 2 as well by the way, has the same issues of getting your IP stolen, being DDoSed, and all of that really bad stuff, as Cold War has, because like I've said plenty of times, they are all in the same boat when it comes to coding. What can be exploited on one can be exploited on all of the others. Activision did patch Black Ops 3 a while ago, and they stopped all of that really bad stuff from happening, but now the problem continues with Cold War, Modern Warfare 2, and Warzone 2. So is Cold War safe to play now? Nope, not even close. Activision haven't fixed the issue, they've just fixed a little part of one. And neither are Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2, and this goes for both PC and consoles. Activision have definitely made this account because their precious Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone have been attacked, and the sad part is, I don't think these issues are ever gonna be fixed anytime soon. Even if there is some kind of way to fix it, it just seems as though Activision don't really have that drive to want to do that. Honestly, I could be reading into that tweet too much, but I do think the fact they're saying it affects a small population of players, or however they worded it, is really not a good look for them. I'm really hoping this is a situation where it has to get worse before it can get better, and I hope that this is the worst it's gonna get. People being booted off of their game and all of the more light-hearted stuff, for lack of a better term, is something that probably is always gonna stay. I'm just really hoping that the big, heavy-hitting hacks, like the IP addresses being stolen and other personal information, DDoS attacks and the blacklisting, I hope that all of that gets fixed because it absolutely needs to, and in my eyes, this is make or break for Call of Duty. People are not going to want to buy the games if this issue keeps going on, if it all keeps getting way too out of hand like it is now, and Activision ultimately need to do something. They need to at least try and do something. But the way it's looking, I think this is the worst the situation has been, because it's not just Cold War getting the really severe attacks on players and the game, it's 2 more games as well. And this is all making Call of Duty rapidly approach its worst state ever. Activision have a lot of COD games to fix and a lot to clean up, and it really makes me wonder if it's ever gonna happen. So once again, as I've said every time I finish these videos, if you're gonna play these games, such as BO3, make sure you're playing offline, using the patch, and taking as many precautions as you can. As for Cold War, if you're not gonna play that completely offline on console, then I would recommend not even touching that game, considering you have to be online if you're on PC, and I wouldn't recommend playing online on console either. And I'd also stay away from Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. Every time you play those games, you're putting yourself at risk. And once again, above all, stay safe out there. But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here today. If you enjoyed or found this informative, be sure to smash the like button. Comment your thoughts on this whole thing down below. Let me know how you're feeling about everything and Call of Duty as a whole in this current time of struggle. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, you won't regret it, and turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.